I know exactly what I want to say, but when I go to say the words, I just have a massive stuttering block. The pressure was too great. I overthought the speaking process, and when the time came to speak, I couldn't speak. The listener was waiting. They were confused. They were worried about me. They didn't know whether to run away, ask if I'm okay, but they didn't realize that I was having a massive stuttering block and I didn't know what to do. I wanted the ground to swallow me up at that point. If you stutter, you know what I'm talking about. You know those times when you go into the conversation, but there's nothing you can do. The block has already happened. As soon as you find it difficult to speak, the listener is waiting, the pressure starts to build, your palms are sweating, you're shaking, your heart is racing, and you don't know what to do. Stuttering is very hard, but the hardest part of stuttering is the one that is not spoken about enough, and I want to speak about that in this video today. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. McCool. I'm a GP from Ireland who has a stutter, runs a free online platform called Stutter Connect, which you're welcome to join. Link is in the description below, where we have a Discord and a WhatsApp where you can speak with and practice speaking, gain tips, tricks from other people who stutter from around the world for free. Join today. I'll see you inside. People who stutter go through constant daily battles. Something so simple such as speech, they find it so difficult. It is not the actual articulation of speech, it's everything around it. The thoughts about speaking, the worries about speaking, the planning your words, the planning the situations, the avoiding words, avoiding situations, worrying what people will think, the struggle to just order a coffee, the struggle to make a simple phone call. These things seem so easy to normal fluent speakers, but people who stutter find this extremely difficult, extremely tiresome, and extremely burdensome. And they're going through this every single day, mostly by themselves, as society does not recognize stuttering enough. A person who stutters is meant to try to fit into a normal speaking world, even though they know they'll never be a fluent speaker and they will always feel different. They might be the only person in their family or friendship group with a stutter, and no one knows what is going on inside their minds, not even their closest family or friends, the daily struggle that they're going through. The shame, the worry, the anxiety, low self esteem, the depression that comes along with stuttering. And this can make stuttering even worse. And the stuttering avoidance cycle goes on and on. The negative self talk, the avoidance, the stuttering, leading to further negative self talk. Speaking should be so easy, straightforward, and simple, but is not the case for everyone. People who stutter have to fight and struggle for every word. They're dealing with previous negative stuttering experiences from childhood or before, and they're dealing with that trauma and they have to bring it to the future. Stuttering has defined them. They are defined by their stutter, but there is so much more to a person who stutters than their speech. They may be a doctor, they may be a lawyer, they may be a barista. Too many people who stutter define themselves by their speech. And I used to do this also. I remember recently I was at an Italian restaurant. I was ordering the seafood risotto. I got stuck on the R word of the risotto, and the waitress, she seemed like a nice person, but she decided to laugh at me. She didn't realize what was going on. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I could have retorted and let this negative experience ruin my whole meal, but I didn't bother. I decided to keep quiet. I decided to move on. I decided to choose happiness, to choose enjoyment. It wasn't worth the effort for me to correct her in that moment. But at the very end of the dinner, after I paid the bill, I corrected her and I told her what was going on. I'm a person with a stutter. I am struggling. Your reaction was inappropriate to that. So she has now learned. So the next person with a stutter that orders food from her, she'll realize what is going on and she will not react in that manner. This is a win-win. I educated her, but I also enjoyed my meal. I did not let it affect me. I used to be massively affected by my stutter. I'd wake up in the morning thinking about it. I'd go to bed thinking about it. I'd worry about my future, worry about my job prospects, worry about everything, worried my ability to find a partner. But I'm a married doctor. I'm a GP, and I see hundreds and thousands of patients face to face or on the phone every single year. And I do this 4 days a week. And I am privileged to have this challenge, to have the challenge of trying to navigate my job while having a stutter. I am not letting my stutter define me, and you should not let your stutter define you also. The hardest part for me was that no one really understood what was going on or what I was going through. I was on the stuttering journey all by myself, as no one around me had a stutter. I did not speak about my stutter with my family and friends. I did not speak about it with my teachers. I was dealing with this all alone. I was always going to be different from everyone else, but something massively changed for me. I decided to be more open about my stutter, to start speaking about my stutter to my family and friends. I decided to voluntary stutter to people, as I realized that people do not care about how I speak as much as I care about how I speak. They only care and worry about what I have to say, what type of person I am, and not about how I say things. Once I stopped running away, avoiding, and hiding from my stutter, the weight was lifted off my shoulders. I was more able to be who I truly was. I started enjoying social situations. I started enjoying the challenge of speaking. I started enjoying everything once again, as I was happy and content in myself. And I still stutter to this day, whether voluntary or involuntary. And I do not care what people think. When I order a drink, order a coffee, can I have a coffee, please? I say that in a confident manner with good eye contact. And I look at the reaction or lack of reaction of the person listening to me. And most of the time, they do not care. Even if there is a reaction or a negative reaction, I do not care. This is my life. This is my problem. And I do not care that I stutter. They can react whatever way they want, but I cannot control their reactions. But I can control my reaction, how I react to negative situations, how I react to the negative reactions of people out there. The only thing that I can control is my own mindset. Either way, it's a 1-1 for me. I am not held at the behest of other people's reactions. I know no matter what happens, that I will enjoy the speaking process, enjoy the challenge of speaking, and not be worried or hampered by people's negative reactions. On my Stutter Connect Discord, I've spoken to hundreds of people with a stutter, and they're all going through the same thing. They're trying to avoid the stutter. They're trying the new technique that'll give them fluency, but this will likely never happen. You will likely never become a fluent speaker. You will likely have this for the rest of your life. Yes, you can improve your communication, but you will not fully become a fluent speaker. But this is okay. You do not need to become a fluent speaker. You need to improve your communication, accept your stutter, and you need to show your stutter to people, as this does not negatively impact on your character, your ability to show up in life, or your skills or talents or qualities. You can achieve whatever you want to achieve in life, and you should not let your stutter hold you back, because you have to break the negative stuttering cycle, the negative self talk, the avoidance, the stuttering, the more negative self talk. Where does that stuttering avoidance cycle end? It ends by being brave, being courageous, showing up, voluntary stuttering, speaking, and getting comfortable stuttering in front of other people. Because a number one reason why you stutter in the first place is you're trying to avoid stuttering. You're trying to be a fluent speaker. So stop trying to be a fluent speaker. Just show up and start speaking. Yes, improve on your communication skills. Do not try to be a fluent speaker. There is more to communication than how you say things. There is your eye contact, there is your energy, there is your rate at which you say things, your rate of pausing, your charisma, your attitude towards the conversation. There's so much more than how you say things. Too many people who stutter put articulation and speaking and the number one thing in communication, but this is not the case. I have overcame the most difficult part of stuttering. I am no longer on a journey by myself. I speak to my family and friends about my stutter. I have a Stutter Connect Discord group where I daily speak about stuttering, and I enjoy this process. If you are struggling with your stutter and you are by yourself in your stuttering journey, do not be by yourself. Join my Stutter Connect Discord where I'll personally speak to you and I'll give you further tips, tricks, advice on how to navigate your personal life with a stutter. Life is too short to be held down by the shackles of having a stutter. It is time that you started facing your speech, started facing your problems before it's too late. Life is too short to be struggling. You need to start enjoying things, enjoying social situations, enjoying speaking at your work, enjoying speaking on the phone, enjoying speaking in general, and stop living in fear, dread of every speaking situation and scenario. That's all for today. Comment below, what do you find most difficult about stuttering, and what is the one thing that has helped you most in your stuttering journey? Like this video, share it with a friend who has a stutter. Join my Stutter Connect Discord, link is in the description below. And remember, if I can do it, you can do it. Best luck, everybody.